Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this brand new day. Yes, indeed, a brand new day as I stem my hands, thumbs up, and, of course, I went walkies this morning. So, with the Shelton, Washington weather report last night when I went walkies, it was cold and mostly sunny, and it wasn't particularly windy or rainy. It was just nice. Cold, as stated, but nice, definitely thumbs up. And even though a mix of what happened in the night, I actually slept pretty well, surprisingly. I woke up early, 4:30, I was wide awake. So 5 o'clock, I got up. Went downstairs, did a bunch of stuff, got back up here, it was like 5:30ish. And I'm thinking, I should go walkies. And so I turn on my computer and I go through the joy of having Chrome, not load a tab unless I just stay there on the tab. And the thing is, I got a pretty good system. It's not mega, but it's like a 4 gigahertz machine. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. It has like 4 computer cores, 8 graphical cores. It's not a hideous system. But Chrome these days, just if I don't sit on one of the tabs, like Google, Google, of course, the search page loads up like that. But if I don't sit on the Gmail page will not load. If it halfway loads and then I leave, when it comes back, it's still where I left it, and it will either restart to reload or continue from where I left the tab. Well, great. So after finally everything gets loaded up, then my computer system locks up. Had to hit the reset button, and so it was late by the time I got it restarted and reloaded everything back up again. But I went out for a short walkies. It wasn't far, maybe a mile. Took about a half hour, and so it's freezing outside. There was ice on everything, so cool. I just wore these shirts here, my light summer jacket, and thumbs up. So it was sunny out there. It's sunny now. Well, sunny. I mean, there's no sun yet. It hasn't completely risen up over the horizon. It's light outside, but the sun is still behind the mountains. Again, in Washington State, Western Washington State, it's very mostly mountainous and hilly, and in this area there's the flat plateau of North Shelton. There go into a valley for downtown Shelton, and then you come up into hills and mountains of southern Shelton. I'm in southern Shelton with the hills and the mountains, so even after the sun has risen, we don't really get to see it because it's behind all the mountains and hills. So thumbs up for that. But it's cold, it's wet, it's a day. Definitely a thumbs up, a good thing. Yay. And a rep to sand story about my hamster. Because hamsters are digging creatures. They love to burrow, they love to dig in stuff, or just to dig. And after I put the sand into his cage, little ghost, he was just running around in it, digging in it, and then, it gets bedding in it. So I took the little thing out, got a little plastic fork, and was digging out all of the little pieces of bedding that were in there. And I just took it out, shake it to get most of the sand off, and then just put it back into the cage. And then I noticed that there were all these little hard blobs of sand. And then I remembered a lot of hamsters use the sand as a place to urinate. And because it's sand, it sticks together after it dries. And so when he urinates, I just have to take the fork and dig out the little hard blocks of dried urine sand. And that's awesome. He really likes the sand. That's a good thing. I've got his cage there filled with toys and bedding, of course, and all these tubes. He's got a lot of stuff. And while some people really enjoy putting food for their hamsters in food bowls, one of the ways that they suggest that you feed your hamster or a small rodent like that is scatter feed. just take it and throw it randomly in the cage. I'll take my food from the hamster, put it in my hand, and then just shake my hand with my fingers open, and the food bounces everywhere inside of his cage. They are foraging creatures, so they forage for the food when you scatter feed. And they like that, and it's good because it gets them moving and searching. So thumbs up for that. But he's a good little guy. He's not active really during my recording times. In fact, most of my hamsters had fallen asleep by the time I started recording, even when I had more, because they are, I think it's crepuscular, where you're most active during the hours of dusk and dawn. Now, hamsters, like all creatures, will adapt. They get used to being woke up and awake at different times. And of course, when he has to get up and drink, he'll get up and run around, and then I'll pick him up. And he's gotten to the point now, because one of the things I do is I'll just put my hand inside of there so that they feel the presence, they can smell me, and then I'll take my hand out. And then that's fine for a while, until they get more used to me. And then I'll bring it in there, put it next to them, and then they come over and sniff, see that nothing's happening, and then I'll just take it back out again. Later on, after they're used to me that way, I can just reach in, scoop them up. And he's really good with being scooped now. I don't have to hold him, I don't have to do anything. I just scoop, hold my fingers a bit like this so that he doesn't feel like he's gonna fall, and then I just lift him up and out. And he doesn't jump, he doesn't do anything like that. He just sits there in my hand as I lift him. Very, very good. A definite thumbs up. Now, some other things that I wanted to talk about. This is one that I mentioned yesterday. A whole bunch of things I mentioned, but this is one. Veganism, vegetarianism, and there are people out there that eat raw meat. Okay. There's nothing wrong with being vegan. I'm not one of those that's going to bash on vegans. Veganism is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I understand it's like, oh, you don't want to hurt creatures, you don't want to do all this, you want to live a less impactful life on the planet. That's good. Problem is, of course, plants are alive too, and you gotta kill to live. So you're still being a predator. And do plants want to be eaten? Not really. So that's, if you're looking at on a less harm on anything, then the best thing to do is just not eat and then release your hoarded resources back out into the world. But I'm not suggesting anyone do that. As I said, there's nothing wrong with trying to have a less harmful impact on the world. There's nothing wrong with veganism. There's nothing wrong with being vegetarian. And there's like lacto-ovo, I can't remember what the word for fish is, but lactose, you'll drink dairy. Ovo, you'll eat eggs, and then it's like, I can't remember the word for the fish one, but you'll eat fish. Now, way back, decades and decades ago, I actually was vegetarian as best I could for about 6 months. Felt great. Felt awesome. So there's, again, nothing wrong with being a vegetarian. And even now, I'm trying my best. I do not buy meat products on their own. I buy food products if it happens to have meat in it. That's something that I don't mind. I eat chili, stuff like that. Whether I buy it or not, it's still on the shelves. And I need to eat something. So if I eat food that has meat in it, I don't specifically put meat in it. And if I can, I like to eat things that don't. And even while married to my wife, and like right now, if I could go totally vegetarian, I probably would. But it's more expensive than just not. So since I'm struggling just to shovel food down my neck hole in the first place, I can't really afford to be too discriminatory, or I'm just not going to be able to eat. But again, if you want to be vegetarian, it's an awesome thing to do. I don't like hurting anything. I don't like hurting plants. I don't like hurting animals, especially. There is another YouTuber called Mudahar. And in fact, I watch him a lot, and he almost died. His appendix burst. And he didn't have a lot of the pain associated with a burst appendix. He just got sick, really sick, And they had to do surgery on him and then have a drain to get the pus out from the infection because his appendix exploded. Almost died from that. But his view on it is, yes, farmed meat is bad, and it is. Oh my God, the dairy farming, the farming industry is horrific. It is nightmarish. But local, non-mega farming of animals, we have to eat. And out in nature, there is no, well, I'm going to not do this because I feel a certain way. It's eat or be eaten, kill or be killed. Either you kill and eat or you die. You will either starve or be killed and eaten by something else. We are a part of nature. We are natural. Even the things we make are still a part of nature. They may be artificial materials, but they're made by us, and we are a part of nature. The homes we make are made of different materials, but they're really no different than a termite mound or a cave used by bears. We are a part of nature. We are not separate from it. There is nothing wrong with being a predator. Morally and ethically, yes, you can have very, very big compunctions against things like the farming industry, because as stated, it's horrific. It is nightmarish. But as Mudahar says, and I pretty much agree with him, though I can't do that. I would not. I've been hunting in my past. I do not like it. I do not like killing and hurting. But he would go hunting for his meat. And he buys meat from local, small farming, where the animals are treated properly and not tortured. It's rough. I do understand that. There are moral and ethical reasons for everything that we do, and I understand it. The farming things that we do across, well, in the industrialized, developed nations, like especially here in the U.S. with the meat stuff and the farming of it and the production lines and such, it is a nightmare. And no animal should have to go through what we put them through. But we are a part of nature and we have to live as well. Try to make as little of an impact as possible because the planet should survive and all of these animals, they deserve to live too. Which also comes down to, there are a bunch of YouTubers that are like insane. There's this one especially, he like eats only raw meat because it's more natural and he feels better and he does all this stuff. Don't eat raw meat, please. Please do not eat raw meat. Nature is wonderful and beautiful and nightmarish and hideous. There are parasites out there that live inside of meat. And when you eat raw meat, those parasites go right into you. We are a wonderful ecosystem for all sorts of parasites. Do not eat raw meat. Raw meat, anything raw, is harder for your system to digest. Raw meat, raw vegetables, raw anything is harder for your system to digest. That's one of the reasons we cook food. We're not evolved for cooked food, but cooked food is easier for our systems to digest, and it kills parasites. There is a reason that all sorts of religions used to say, don't eat pork. I mean, they'd still say, don't eat pork. But there were reasons, strong health reasons, because of the parasites in pork. The pigs can't help it. You have to be super careful with it. It's just that modern methods today with our systems can get rid of the parasites. And when you eat raw meat, oh my God. Boy, I didn't realize that this was going to take up the whole time. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I'm not reading the comments right now. Just thank you for having left a comment. Good, bad, and different. You took the time. You expended the calories. Thank you very much. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker, and even though I count American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my depression, fibromyalgia, ADHD, mourning, and more, well, I'm sometimes like I can remember my own name. So, let me call up my Chrome. Oh, God, this bloody thing. Anyway, Thermal Armor, thumbs up and thank you. Maximilian, greatly appreciated. And thank you for the info. Very, very cool. I'm going to have to go back. Anime Fan, thumbs up and thank you. Schizobunka, with a little symbol after it. Thank you very much. Confused Owl 29. I hope I did a good job today. Ricky Bettini with the daily reminder to live every day to the fullest. Thank you very much. Naija Hernandez, I'm nowhere close with the first name, but thank you very, very much. And Solid Eastwood, thumbs up. Made in Canada, thank you very, very much. And Tommy Nelson, thumbs up. Elliot Mann, greatly appreciated. Chris G, thumbs up. And good thoughts on that. And then we have Russian Timing. Good to see you in the comments, my friend. Zombie Wolf, greatly appreciated. Sarge778 returns. Thank you very much. Russell the Wonder Beast. I like the name. Christopher Thomas, thumbs up and thank you. We have Potatotron. Always good to see you as well, my friend. Colin Reisenauer, greatly appreciated. Angel Gonzalez, thumbs up. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. And that's it. 21 people who left me comments on the last 24 hours. It is appreciated, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, if only in text. Definitely a thumbs up. And if you could check out my various links down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com. If you could become a Patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. And if you'd like to help me out financially without sending money through the patronage, I have a PayPal link down below. If you'd like to help me out without sending money at all, I have an Amazon wish list link as well with things like cat food, hamster bedding, silly things, not silly things. If you could check it out, that would be very cool. Do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. Definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be awesome beyond words. Definitely a thumbs up on that. And of course, the horsehead of encouragement has nothing but love and encouragement for each and every human being and animal and plant on the face of this planet. The horsehead of encouragement loves us all and wishes nothing but the best for each and every one of us. And of course, I get people that still say Black Lives Matter, right, unsubbed. Well, goodbye, glad to see you go, because guess what? Black Lives Matter. And please try to stay as safe and creative as you can. You need to keep your brain working during these hard times. It's not easy, I understand. But it is important. Definitely a thumbs up on that. If you go out, please wear a mask, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, maintain your social distancing, and try not to go out. We've already identified that is running out of control in the United States, a new strain, more easily transmissible, harder on you, and we're not even sure if the vaccine is going to work on it. Be careful. Again, you don't want to be gasping out the last of your life on a ventilator in a hospital because of this. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing.